In the 103-episode plot of Soul Land 2, the Peerless Tang clan, Huo Yuhao is invincible. Level 60 beheaded the level 80 evil soul master, shocking everyone. Ma Xiaotao appeared to restore his memory. Huo Yuhao and Tang men had successfully entered Sunrise City, looking for the hostages being held here. However, the hostages were not found, but they met an evil spirit master with the strength of the 8 rings, and he was also an evil spirit master with powerful spiritual attributes. The two started a big battle, but Huo Yuhao didn't expect that Huo Yuhao would kill the 8-ring evil spirit master with only 60 level strength. Huo Yuhao wanted to rely on his powerful spiritual detection ability to complete the investigation mission quietly, but accidentally bumped into a chilling female evil spirit master. Huo Yuhao met the attack with the impact of the soul in the tangible and immaterial realm. Although he was repelled, he also caused a heavy blow to the evil soul master. Immediately afterwards, Huo Yuhao displayed his own 3 great skills. The golden light and shadow behind him merged into his body. His eyes were full of longing, condensing the affectionate Si Dongquan. Although the evil spirit master tried to avoid, he was still hit and his emotions were greatly affected. Huo Yuhao took advantage of the victory to chase after him, then fisted his sword fingers and displayed the Nian Dong sword. The magnificent sword light poured down like thoughts, forcibly, cutting through the true body of the evil soul master's martial soul. At this moment, the blood color in the eyes of the evil spirit master actually began to fade, and his expression became more and more similar to Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao didn't stop. He was immersed in his thoughts for Wang Donger and burst into tears with the last blow of Haodong's palm. The sky suddenly changed. The huge heart-shaped light was imprinted with the golden heart in his palm, and the picture in his memory flickered behind him. When this palm hit the evil spirit master, it seemed calm, but it contained infinite power. When Huo Yuhao's Haodong palm was heavily imprinted on the evil soul master, a thrilling battle ushered in an unexpected ending. The blood-red color in the eyes of the evil spirit master quickly faded like a tide, replaced by an unprecedented clarity. A blush appeared on his pale face, with a smile of relief, as if at this moment, the long-suppressed soul had finally been redeemed. As the black airflow slowly flowed out of the evil soul master's 7 senses, his body rapidly aged. The black airflow that symbolized evil condensed into a human form behind him and slowly collapsed. In the end, his body was fragmented like a remnant leaf in the wind, turned into dust and dissipated in the night wind. Huo Yuhao was still immersed in his thoughts for Wang Donger and burst into tears, maintaining his appearance motionless. The strong emotions exuding from him infected everything around him. At this time, Su Sanshi and 6 other partners quietly appeared, with tears in their eyes, touched by Huo Yuhao's emotions. All creatures within a diameter of 1 kilometer shed tears inexplicably, which is the embodiment of Huo Yuhao's powerful emotional appeal. When Haodong's palm blasted out, the world changed color, and Huo Yuhao's partners were stunned. They deeply felt the intensity and sincerity of this feeling. After the battle, the Sunrise City army quickly blocked the battlefield, but only found a piece of nothingness. The heart-shaped light that appeared in the sky and the sudden change in the sky puzzled the generals. They ordered a careful search, but found nothing. In the hotel room, Huo Yuhao was still immersed in emotions and couldn't extricate himself. Su Sanshi, Kai Tu, and others surrounded the bed, discussing his situation. They knew well that although Huo Yuhao's record this time was amazing in power, the side effects were great. Not only exhausted his soul power, but also caused his spirit to be strongly impacted. Su Sanshi speculated that Huo Yuhao's body could recover in a few hours, but the mental trauma would take a long time to heal. At the same time, this battle also caused waves in the hearts of the partners. Ji Juechen began to reflect on whether his cultivation method of abandoning feelings was correct, and wondered whether only love could sublimate sword intent to the extreme. After witnessing Huo Yuhao's strength and affection, Yi Gai had a different kind of affection for him, but rationally chose to bury this love in his heart, because he understood that in Huo Yuhao's heart, only Wang Donger's position is irreplaceable. When Huo Yuhao was fighting with the evil spirit master, the others had already rescued Feng Ling. They learned from Feng Ling's mouth where the hostages were being held. It turned out that they were not locked up in the city, but in a water prison outside the city wall. At this moment, Huo Yuhao decided to go to the water prison with Su Sanshi and Yi Gai to investigate. Huo Yuhao used his spiritual body to sink into the river. The moment he stepped into the muddy river, Huo Yuhao noticed something strange. Maintaining the spiritual body in the water requires more mental power, but with careful planning in advance, he still firmly controls the spiritual body and moves towards the goal. After the spiritual body arrived at the underwater iron fence and successfully drilled in, Huo Yuhao immediately turned on the spiritual exploration. He was swimming tens of meters in the muddy river, and when he was about to cross the city wall and return to the city, the noise coming from the front aroused his vigilance. The spiritual body quietly surfaced, and the scene in front of him shocked him. This is actually a huge water prison, with hard rock walls and neatly arranged steel cages. In each cage, it is soaked in muddy water 1 meter deep, holding 8 to 10 people. These people had pale faces and weak breath. They were the team members and team leaders who participated in the soul fighting competition. Just as Huo Yuhao was observing, at one end of the stone platform, the 3 Zhongli brothers were surrounded by a woman in a long dark red dress. When Huo Yuhao's gaze touched the woman, the whole person was momentarily sluggish, and his mental fluctuations were almost out of control. The 3 elders were keenly aware of the abnormality, and Huo Yuhao was awakened with a sharp cry. He hurriedly dived the spiritual body into the water and fled out. The woman snorted coldly, raised her hand and pressed it. The dark red light fell. The river instantly dyed red. A large amount of water vapor transpired, and the hot energy hit from behind. Huo Yuhao's spiritual body rapidly weakened under this force, and the origin of the soul was also shaken. At a critical moment, a call of "Sister" burst out of his spiritual body, and the burst of heat was a pause. Huo Yuhao seized the opportunity, rushed out of the iron fence, and the spirit body fled back to merge with the body. The turquoise light rose, dispelling the remaining scorching heat in the soul. Huo Yuhao opened his eyes full of shock. Facing Su Sanshi's inquiry, he made an amazing discovery that the woman was actually Ma Xiaotao, who had been missing for a long time. She was once a senior sister of Shrek Academy, but now she has become a saint of the Holy Spirit. Huo Yuhao judged that Ma Xiaotao's martial soul evil fire phoenix had completely mutated into a dark phoenix, possessing the ultimate fire with dark attributes, and its soul power had reached the level of the 8-ring Contra. With such strength, even if he joined forces with Yi Gai, he might not be able to restrain it easily. However, Huo Yuhao found that Ma Xiaotao seemed to react to his voice, which gave him hope. At this time, Ma Xiaotao had already locked Huo Yuhao with his mental power, standing on the street outside the hotel and waiting. Huo Yuhao knew that if he wanted to complete the plan, Ma Xiaotao was the key breakthrough. He resolutely walked out through the window and faced the powerful old man directly. Huo Yuhao removed the easy look on his face and walked slowly towards Ma Xiaotao, trying to evoke her memory. Ma Xiaotao's eyes were full of struggle and confusion, and he suddenly grabbed Huo Yuhao's shoulder. The dark red flame instantly ignited. Huo Yuhao's clothes turned to ashes, and his skin began to burn. The critical moment. The ultimate ice in Huo Yuhao's body instinctively gushed out, and the ultimate fire fought fiercely on his shoulders. Although Ma Xiaotao's cultivation base is far superior to Huo Yuhao in terms of attributes, Huo Yuhao has the upper hand with the torso bones of the Ice Wall Emperor Scorpion and the fused Ice Emperor Snow Origin power. Under the severe pain, Huo Yuhao endured the pain and kept calling "Sister." With an affectionate call, Ma Xiaotao seemed to have a trace of spirituality in his eyes, but the dark red flame quickly became stronger again, and the attack became more violent. The skin on Huo Yuhao's shoulders rolled over, and the blood continued to vaporize, but he still didn't give up, with tears in his eyes confiding in his thoughts over the years. Just as Ma Xiaotao's attack was about to fall, Huo Yuhao yelled, causing her movements to stop abruptly. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Huo Yuhao stretched out his right hand and hugged Ma Xiaotao tightly. The lines of the ice by Emperor Scorpion appeared behind Huo Yuhao, and the gray soul ring quietly absorbed the dark aura in Ma Xiaotao's flame. This is the power inherited from the necromancer Saint Shen, and it is stripping away the evil spirit that entangles her martial soul at a speed that is difficult to detect with the naked eye. The captain who led Shrek to the championship in the soul fighting competition 5 years ago, Wu Huan, was originally a pure evil fire phoenix, but changed into a dark phoenix due to the conspiracy of the Holy Spirit. At this moment, Huo Yuhao relies on the 60-level soul power, balances the violence of the flame with the coldness of the ultimate ice, and weaves a dense web of awakening memories with mental power. Sister, you are Ma Xiaotao and Shrek's pride. Huo Yuhao's call penetrated the roar of the flames. Ma Xiaotao's hand on his shoulder suddenly relaxed, and the dark red flame faded from its edge and turned into a beating fiery red, which was the pure color that the phoenix martial soul should have. The coldness in her eyes was replaced by confusion, and she murmured and repeated her name, as if to retrieve her lost self from the tremor on the tip of her tongue. Huo Yuhao felt the body in his arms gradually relax, and hope ignited in his heart. Unlike Tang Ye, who was completely controlled by drugs, Ma Xiaotao's loss stemmed from the self-tearing of the martial soul after the mutation. The Holy Spirit sect used the cracks in his emotions to implant dark energy, but could not completely devour his pride as Shrek's soul master. At this moment, as the dark breath was pulled away, the fragments of his memory began to piece together. When the words Holy Spirit teaching were uttered, her body trembled violently, and the flames suddenly rose. Sister, look at me. Huo Yuhao injected cool soul power into her forehead, and ice and fire set off a storm in the sea of spirits. Ma Xiaotao suddenly woke up. Yuhao, you are Yuhao. Why are you so tall? Ma Xiaotao looked at him blankly. He hadn't seen him for 5 years. At this moment, Ma Xiaotao could no longer recognize Huo Yuhao, who had grown up. Ma Xiaotao's hot tears hit Huo Yuhao's burned shoulder. At this moment, she is no longer a saint who is high above, but a girl who has been teased by fate. In the arms of the ultimate ice, she has found her long-lost warmth. When Ma Xiaotao saw the wound on Huo Yuhao's shoulder, Ma Xiaotao asked who hurt him, and he wanted to avenge Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao knew that any fluctuation in Ma Xiaotao's emotions at this moment might make the previous difficult awakening results fall short, so he hurriedly comforted her on the grounds of his injury. Ma Xiaotao's eyes were full of confusion, asking why he fell into a state of muddle, and at the same time, he did not forget to care about Huo Yuhao's safety. Huo Yuhao's voice was soft, and he slowly told her about the dark past. At the soul fighting competition of the Senior Soul Master Academy on the mainland, Ma Xiaotao's martial soul lost control and was brought back to Shrek Academy for treatment. However, the destruction of Mingda's dignified main mirror, the red dust, gave the Holy Spirit a chance to teach. They took Ma Xiaotao and used sorcery to turn her into another person. The words Holy Spirit teaching are like a key, opening the floodgates of Ma Xiaotao's memory. She murmured to herself, trying to distinguish the identity of the saint from Ma Xiaotao. Just as her eyes fell into chaos again, Huo Yuhao injected cool soul power into her forehead in time to help her regain her clarity. Ma Xiaotao, who was awake, didn't know how to face the chaotic memories in his mind. Huo Yuhao comforted softly, letting her slowly recall. As his mood gradually stabilized, Ma Xiaotao remembered the unbearable past and sadly told the fact that he had killed someone. Huo Yuhao immediately interrupted, blaming the saint of the Holy Spirit Church for the crime, trying to ease her psychological burden. But she also understood in her own heart that with Ma Xiaotao's status and cultivation base in the Holy Spirit Church, she might have already been deeply involved. Ma Xiaotao regained complete sobriety and began to ask Huo Yuhao how to suppress the evil aura in her body. Huo Yuhao admitted that although it was temporarily suppressed, the dark aura would still be repeated, and only by completely solving the problem of martial souls could it be done. When it comes to Wuxuan, Ma Xiaotao's face is sad. Is there really a way to solve the problem that even Mu Lao can't solve? Huo Yuhao suppressed the heartache caused by Mu Lao's death and revealed to her the poisonous scriptures left by the three ancestors of Tang in the first generation of Shrek's 7 Monsters of Shrek Academy, which recorded the method of using fairy herbs to resolve the evil aura of the evil fire phoenix, and also mentioned the first generation of the evil fire phoenix Ma Hongjun. It was this method that solved his own problems and brought hope to Ma Xiaotao. At this time, Huo Yuhao suddenly noticed that the people of the Holy Spirit Church were approaching, and Ma Xiaotao's eyes lit up, and he firmly stated that he could use his willpower to fight evil spirits, urging Huo Yuhao to leave. After Huo Yuhao hugged Ma Xiaotao vigorously, he quickly returned to the hotel.